I don't say anything. I never say anything. My eyes, sometimes I'm.
Welcome. Today is February 18th. The time is now promptly 7 p.m. and I'm calling this council regular session to order. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Good job. Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. So that moves us into visitor comments. Now is the time for visitor comments. The visitor comment period is an essential part of local government meetings. Please address the mayor and council members. The city council will take all input into consideration. Please limit your share to 3 minutes or less. In observance for Oregon open meeting laws, this isn't a time for dialogue, but rather a time for us to listen to you. Responses to visitor comments, if needed, will be published in the next city council regular session packet. Please provide contact information on the sign-in sheet in the back of the room. And when you come up, please state your name for the record. And with that, we will take first public comment. 3 minutes or less, please.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, Nick Flory, St. Helens resident. Gonna keep this short and sweet. The UTV thing, I think we've talked about it a lot. You guys know a lot about it. I'm still supportive of it. I think it'd be a fun and good thing for the city. The sewage reservoir thing, I watched the work session, and I just, with the current finances of the city, I don't know if it's the right idea to move forward right now. That's a lot of capital funds to invest into that. I kind of agree with Mr. Toski's opinion of sidelining that until the budget is at a point for that. I wasn't even gonna come to today's city council meeting, but I had a few fellow citizens reach out to me, ask if I was gonna come, because I think our government system is a beautiful thing, and that we're able to talk on topics like this and kind of present our opinion as citizens and taxpayers. But that's all I have. I really like the idea of the baseball fields. I think it'd be great to bring in people and host tournaments. I just don't feel that with current city financials right now, it's appropriate. That's all I have.
Nick. Next public comment.
Stephen Toski, citizen of St. Helens, Mayor and Council. Thank you for your valuable time. I want to commend the council and about the discussion we had about the lagoon. I think that Jessica, Council President Chilton's comments about pressing the no-go button on this was the right move on this thing. This was a non-starter from the beginning. The fact that we're going to take a bunch of sludge from the Willamette in Portland and stick it in our lagoon. I mean, why are we taking other people's problems and trying to get them to solve our problems? We should be able to solve our problems ourselves. We are St. Helens. We need to be working toward this, and gotta be careful about these things because they're golden handcuffs. Somebody says, oh, well, we're going to help you plan. And at the same time, we're going to cuff you to our solution. What I see is that our public works department is not working on a plan B. What I heard is we have 10 more years of capacity on our sewer, and we're going to be fine with the DEQ. And what I've heard is that we've wasted 10 years on this project. We're going to take somebody else's waste. And it is toxic waste, John. I mean, if it can't go into the river, it's toxic. You can call it whatever you want. And so, you know, we do have sludge that we need to get rid of. And, you know, that's in Scappoose Bay. And that's in the channel between Scappoose Bay and the Multnomah Channel. And we're going to need a place to put that. So I say we use the engineering plan these people have drawn for us, and we task our public works department into picking the brains of these people. We get their plans, we look at their engineering and their drawings, and we set our public works department to figuring out how we can solve our problems here without taking on Portland's problems, because God knows what they're gonna ship to us. Let's just get things done here. It's great that they've given us free engineering drawings, but in the end, this is not anything that we should be doing, and I think we all know that. It's too dangerous for our waterfront. We need to continue to preserve our precious lands around here. And as far as the coming building, parking is going to be an issue. We need to be very careful about how we approach this Romanesco that's going to be selling a development. But that's last thing we want to do is get involved in litigation. So I think we need to be thinking about flexibility, what we really have as far as the ground that they're going to build on, and making sure we have realistic and flexible development options for investors coming in. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mayor, councilors. My name is Jason Moon. Some of you may know me as the former Columbia County Small Business Resource Center Director. I have a lot of big feelings around how CET was dissolved. However, I have even bigger feelings about continuing this work and the momentum that we have here in St. Helens and throughout the county. So John has been actually a really great partner to staff as we work towards moving those grants that we worked really hard to bring to this community. I'm very fortunate because one of those grants was moved to the Oregon Entrepreneurs Network, which is a statewide agency. And I've been tagged to run and continue to run the Northwest Innovation Hub that serves Columbia, Clatsop, and Tillamook County. So very excited that we're able to keep those funds here in the county and continue that work. I know that John has been working with the city of Scappoose on transferring some grants there, specifically the Growing Rural Oregon Ford Family Foundation grant. Last night at council, the city passed to move forward with that. I'm hoping that that consideration here is given to let Scappoose lead that. They have the pieces in place to take over some of the other grant projects that we've worked on, like the business retention and expansion project, and possibly even keep it local. So I'm here to say thank you. Appreciate each of you, the support that you've given me personally, the support that you've given the other staff like Sierra Trask and Willa Nagelspa. So appreciate it. Thanks.
Good to see you.
Next public comment.
Brady Prime. The ATV was advertised as a moneymaker. One of the many moneymakers schemes that the mayor came up with. Now it's not going to be a moneymaker. But that just adds to the many list of failures that this mayor has done, such as having the public comments at the end. Reversed. Statements that you used to make during public comments reversed. Hometown Heroes canceled. There are many. Then there's the Ask Me that you're having on the thing. Ask Me people, you're going to balance your budget by screwing those people over with not giving them the cost of living. And of course, you still have budget problems, huge budget problems, which you think you're going to solve by asking people to put a $47, $45 fee on your water bill, which isn't going to pass. Scares me that Jessica is the smartest person in the room now on the council, and that she says it ain't gonna pass, and she's right. It ain't gonna pass. She's completely right. Maybe you should listen to her. But of course, I don't think that's capacity that you have to listen to anybody. The budget problems that you have been existing for a long time. When I was on the budget committee 3 years ago, it was the front page of the Chronicle, that 3 years from now, which is now, that we would be in the crisis that you're in. course, you tried to balance the budget by getting $300,000 out of Treadway for tourism. Where is it? Where's that money at? Has it been transferred? Because it's in the budget, should have been transferred, should be easy. The city owns that account. It's in the city's name. Let's transfer the 300,000. But no, instead, we're facing a crisis of $150,000 at least for this fiscal year of bankruptcy. Where's the 300,000 we're supposed to get from Treadway? Had you done the 5% cut, which is minimal 3 years ago, like I suggested, and most of your expenses are wages. 5% of a 40-hour week is 2 hours a week. Could have closed, had you done this cut 3 years ago and been responsible 3 years ago, you could have had closing the city hall 2 hours a week. Closed at 3 o'clock on a Friday. Now you're facing a 20% cut because you ignored those problems for years. The mayor wasn't there for that whole time, but she's been there for 2 years. The budget committee. Maybe you forgot. But you did nothing. And now you want us to do it on the water bill. It will not pass.
Next, public comment, please.
Good evening. My name is Levi DeShazer, St. Helens resident. I wanted to talk about the UTVs, just that community. There's people that know when to play and when to follow rules and everything. Campgrounds, when you use them recreationally, you follow their speed limits and their rules and the campgrounds rules and their regulations and everything, and you follow what you have to do to get out there. And once you're out there, you're under the federal land use with their requirements and regulations, and you follow those with your flags and your fire extinguishers and your seat belts and helmets for children, car seats, everything like that. I guess what I'm saying is everybody I know in this community of UTVs knows when to play and when to follow rules. Recreationally, off-road, be smart, everything like that. They're a lot of fun, but there's people that know how to use them appropriately. But to add to this, I have the green light and the approval from my employer, who is 3M certified and ODOT certified for road signs for the installation following the manual of uniform traffic control devices, to have those signs made and the materials provided that I can donate my time and install them up to 4 locations. If we need more than 4, I can discuss it with them and figure out how to get more signage where we need to put them. If this passes and you get me where you want those, I will go put them in. Follow 811 to dig and get locations done and get those signs provided and up and visible for the public at no cost for anybody. So just put that out there. Thank you.
Next public comment, please.
Mercedes Massey. I actually wasn't planning on speaking tonight. I was just going to come and support, but I feel compelled to respond to the suggestion that because I'm the mayor's daughter, I shouldn't have opinion about ordinances or decisions that affect the city I live in and plan to call home for the rest of my life. I'm a resident of this community and I have every right to express my views just like anyone else does. I also find it interesting that a particular individual claims that they are being attacked by me or my significant other. If they feel that way, it may be because they consistently post baseless accusations online about me and my family. When those accusations are met with facts and evidence, the narrative suddenly shifts to claims I'm being attacked. It's hard not to notice that this tends to happen when there is no legitimate argument to support their position. When a public post generates 106, probably more now, and nearly all of them are in support, that clearly reflects what many citizens want and have been asking for. There is absolutely nothing wrong with people speaking out in opposition. Healthy discussion is important. I stated that last time. However, productive dialogue should be grounded in facts and constructive input, not just personal feelings. For clarification, neither me or my significant other even own a side by side. My support of this ordinance is based on what the community has been asking for. I believe council has done their homework and that this is, they'll make a really well-educated decision on the ordinance tonight. And I just think it's very interesting that adults that want to have discussions, rely everything on opinions and feelings and can actually come to the table and present you guys with facts and evidence of why it's going to be negative to the community. They can sit on a keyboard all they want and say stuff they want to citizens. They can bash the youth for wanting to be involved and trying to be involved. And regardless of who my affiliation is with, I have a right to have an opinion also with everyone in this room. So thank you. I appreciate your guys' time.
Next public comment, please. Do we have?
Dick Holman. I believe the mayor's daughter was referring to me in her little tirade there, so I want to thank her for that. That is me opposing this ordinance. I make comments about me not liking this ordinance. I don't need to be attacked for my opinion. Thank you. Earlier today, I was here and talked about signage. And the mayor went out of her way to do everything she could to signal that I was not telling the truth. So I came back today and Mr. DeShazier, your future, I don't know what he would be, he's future in-law, said that he would like to install the signs. In your contract for this ordinance, the city of St. Helens will post signs giving notice of operation of ATVs in permitted areas. So my statement was that this ordinance is going to cost the city money. Right there, you got to go get signs, install signs. And so that is one item that I think you were mistaken on. On financial responsibility, there's a requirement in the contract. God, it's just rude that you make faces at me while I'm up here talking. There's a requirement for insurance on these vehicles, but there's no vehicle to check that. There's no sticker, I have insurance. There's no anything that we know that they've had insurance. So another cost to us is going to be our police department, our understaffed police department is going to be taxed with making this work. And it probably will. If you guys say, let's do it, well, they'll do it. And that the police department will be taxed with making it happen. And like Steve said, I don't think we're ready for this in our budget, or it could wait. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you.
Do we have anybody else in the gallery?
Jeff McDonald, St. Helens. I obviously support the ATV. Well, I really don't call them ATVs. I call them UTVs, but the whole thing's been called an ATV. I pity your guys' job, not in the factor of what we got to do, but what you guys have to listen to every time somebody comes up here and just rattle, 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 rattle. You don't even know where they're going with it. It's real simple. If there's a fee that this city has to have on these side-by-side 4 or 5 signs, and if for whatever reason, Mr. DeShazier can't get this taken care of, reach out. I'll cut the check. It ain't gonna be that much money. There isn't gonna be hardly any money that's gonna be involved, even if the city has to put anything forward. And as far as insurance goes on these rigs, it's only obvious. Nobody's gonna be running these things around without full coverage insurance. They literally sit in storage units and in garages with full coverage insurance. They're not gonna have them out on the road and not have it on there. I mean, I can tell you right now, everybody I know that has one has full coverage. Nobody has liability, even though the law only needs liability to be on the road. Nobody has liability. You have minimum $20,000 vehicles. All the way up to $100,000, depending on what you have into it. They're gonna be insured. And they all have seatbelts. They all have everything safety that they need, other than their road kits, which is not hard to put on. I do them all the time. You're talking blinkers and horns. Makes it road legal. That's it. So. Thank you guys for listening. And God forbid the other negative comments you guys keep getting.
Next public comment, please. Do we have anybody online?
Yes.
How many do we have online?
Adam is one, and then there's a phone number for the other.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
All right, Council, Adam St. Pierre. Council, once again, I'd like to thank you guys for doing the thankless job. This side-by-side ordinance is the perfect example of thankless work. I personally have very little care or desire one way or the other. They say a blind squirrel can find a nut every once in a while. Well, a blind squirrel in the forest can see that this ordinance has brought out a large group of local citizens in support of this ordinance. I value constructive discussion. Unfortunately, there will be a few who keep their heads in the sand and ignore the overwhelming support for the ordinance. I've said enough about that. As you probably know, I'm a libertarian. I believe in small government. I think we need to reduce our government by at least 30%. That being said, I also want to express my support for the general services fee that is going to be discussed later this evening. I support getting back to 20% reserve as fast as possible, then removing any fee imposed. I believe the city's main job is to provide public safety, public works, police, fire, water, and sewer. I think a lot of the other departments are just added benefits. After last week's public comment session, I decided that I would be more than willing to support the general services fee. My personal opinion is we are not able to fund additional detective positions without the fee. I even more so believe that we need these detectives for the investigation into a large number of child abuse cases and sexual assault on children cases in our community. I think the predators are feeling far too comfortable in our community. When we have a 60-plus-year-old man who's speaking an objection to the side-by-side ordinance results in making mention of a memory of a prepubescent boy riding a bike naked, there's a problem. The level of comfort that is expressed during the discussion is concerning. Based on the age of the accused, this incident would have had to been something of about 20 years ago if it actually did happen. Neither the accused or his mother have a recollection of this ever happening, so it wasn't a significant or common event if it actually did happen. So why would this be the first thought of a 60-plus-year-old man? Slip a tongue? Apparently not. I've been informed the same individual doubled down and had a second discussion on this on another public forum. Individuals with this type of sickness need help. Any cutting of services that may help this individual need to be retained in the city. My personal belief is that we need additional detectives to look into the actions of these type of individuals in our community. It's not right that a 60-plus-year-old man to have a vivid memory to talk about it multiple times 20 years later. This type of disgusting behavior should not be accepted in our community. Just the thought of an individual feeling comfortable enough to make these mentions multiple times is disgusting. Additional detectives are needed. They say arsonists often return to the scene of the crime. With the comfort level exhibited by, we have to ask ourselves, are we doing everything we can to discourage this type of behavior in our city? We need to hire as many detectives as it takes and that are needed to make this kind of people who make these kind of statements in public feel uncomfortable. Thank you.
All right, the number online. You want to make one more? Can you hear us?
Yes, good evening. Art Leskowitz here. Want to appreciate all of the work that council and staff is doing. I'll keep this short and sweet. Listen to the work session and got 3 pages of notes here, but I'm going to hit my bullets that yes, the lagoon studies, somebody mentioned we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. No, we spent over $1 million plus dollars, and there's still some monies in that coffer. But correct, that was monies that we got on grants from the state and from the federal government. We should use those additional monies, I believe, from what I heard earlier. Council is not really in favor of pursuing filling the lagoon with sediments from elsewhere. But remember, we do have a lot of contaminated sediments in that lagoon from previous operations from the mill. And secondly, it was very well pointed out during the meeting that the current wastewater treatment plant will need some future upgrades. Basically, right now, we're dealing with the solution to pollution is dilution, and that's why that 40 million gallon, or I'm sorry, all that acreage as far as the lagoon is very beneficial as far as diluting our waste. But we have seen in the studies, and from what I've understood, some contaminants ending up in our drinking water intake that is a mile downstream from our discharge, below limits of concern, but they are there. And as time goes on, we don't know what's going to happen, but not only must we address the wastewater treatment plant upgrades, we should be concerned with the contaminants that still are in the lagoon and potentially affecting our drinking water intakes. So that being said, again, information is paramount. Let's not make emotional decisions. When this first came out 7+ years ago, it was a golden goose, and we were going to be swimming in money by benefiting from taking these sediments. Now, as you saw in that presentation, the net positive value of the project is anywhere from -50 to $80 million, in which we would need to partner. The city would need to partner with private enterprise. But interestingly enough, nobody over the last 3 years has stepped up. I know that the city has tried to sell this idea to several consulting and waste management firms, but they don't want to pursue it, and rightly so. So look at the technology, look at the finances, and look at the practicality, and we'll try and leave emotions on the side, but the data will tell. So again, thank you for what you do. There's a lot of reading out there. Keep up with all of your research and questions, and appreciate all you do. Thanks very much for your time.
Thanks, Barb. Is that the last one, Kathy? Yep. All right. We will move into ordinance, final reading. We have number 1, ordinance 3319, an ordinance to annex and designate the zone of certain property located between the northern terminus of Morton Lane and the south side of Sykes County Road.
Before we get started on that, it's okay. I wanted to address, there was a comment made during visitor comments this afternoon about whether any of the counselors had a conflict of interest in favor of the ATV ordinance. And so given this concern, I thought it was appropriate to talk about conflict of interest under Oregon ethics law. So I just wanted to provide some background information. A public official is met with a conflict of interest when participating in official actions such as a discussion, a deliberation, or a decision, which would or could result in a financial benefit or avoidance or a financial detriment to that public official or to a relative of the public official or a business with which either are associated. So examples of a benefit to a public official or relative is if the city was voting on a contract before it and the elected official or a relative had an ownership interest in that contract, that would be considered an actual conflict of interest. So there are 2 types of conflicts of interest, an actual and a potential. Actual conflict of interest exists when an action taken by a public official would affect the financial interest of the official or the relative or a business with which the official or relative is associated. And a potential conflict of interest exists when an action, or its discussion or a decision taken by a public official could have a financial impact on that public official or a relative of that public official or a business with which the official or relative is associated. And so conflict of interest law, the ethics law under Oregon, is focused on whether there is a financial benefit or detriment to the person, the decision maker. So if there's an actual conflict of interest, that person must declare that there's an actual conflict of interest, and they may not participate in the discussion and they may not vote on that matter. If there's a potential conflict of interest, the law requires a person to disclose that they have a potential conflict of interest, explain what that is, and after making that disclosure, they are allowed to participate in the discussion or vote on the matter. So an example for the ATV ordinance, if a counselor or relative, a counselor or a relative of a counselor operated an ATV repair shop in the city, that business may financially benefit from the passing of an ATV ordinance, and it could be seen at least as a potential conflict of interest, if not an actual conflict of interest. So that's just a general example, and I thought it was important, given the concerns raised, to make sure that that's addressed, and that looking at the agenda this evening, I want to ask the counselors, does anyone wish to declare a potential or actual conflict of interest as defined under Oregon law on any of the items on the agenda that you'll be voting on?
No.
You may proceed.
Thank you, sorry for that. All right, so that moves to ordinance 3319 and an ordinance to annex and designate the zone of certain property located between northern terminus of Morton Lane and the south side of Sykes County Road.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 3319 as read.
Second.
We have a motion second, Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
I'm I as well. Number 2, ordinance 3320, an ordinance authorizing the operation of class 4 all-terrain vehicles on the streets located in the city of St. Helens, Oregon, and providing a penalty for their violation thereof.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 3320 as read.
Second.
We have a motion second. Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I'm an I as well. Congratulations. it passed.
Thank you very much.
Okay, authorize and or approve and or authorize for signature. Number 3, we have amendment number 1, contract with HASA Incorporated to extend contract for delivery for sodium hypochlorite to the wastewater treatment plant. Number 4, ratify. Can we do these separately? Can we do number 3? So let's do number 3.
I'll make a motion to approve and or authorize for signature item number 3 as read.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion second, Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard. Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
I'm a I as well. Number 4, ratify AFSCME, that's a mouthful, collective bargaining agreement for 7/1/2025. It's due 6/30.
Motion to ratify AFSCME collective bargaining agreement for 7/1/25 to 6/30/28.
Okay. Do you have any discussion or anybody have any temperament for discussion? Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard. Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I'm a no. Number 5. First Amendment to Keller Associates Incorporated, agreement for the Reservoir Sitting Study Project, number W-484.
Make a motion to approve and authorize for signature the First Amendment to Keller Associates Incorporated Agreement for the Reservoir Siting Study Project.
You got it.
Did we do a second? Okay, so we have a motion second, Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard. Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Number 6, intergovernmental agreement with Oregon Department of Transportation for the Transportation System Management Plan Update.
Make a motion to approve item number 6 as read.
Second.
Well done.
Counselor
Read all
Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. We have number 7, right-of-way dedication deed for 80 South 21st Street.
Make a motion to approve and authorize for signature line item number 7.
Well, second.
Okay, motion second, Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
I'm an aye as well. Number 8, sub-grant agreement with the city of Scappoose to continue implementation of the Growing Rural Oregon Grow Initiative Grant.
I'll make a motion to approve and or authorize for signature line item 8.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second, Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I as well.
Good luck, Jason.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Jason. Appointments to city boards and commissions. We have number 9, appoint Lori Baker to the Parks and Trails Commission.
Make a motion to appoint Lori Baker to the Parks and Trails Commission.
I'll second that.
We have a motion second, Counselor Sundin.
Aye.
Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard.
Aye.
Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
All right, and I'm an aye as well. Consent agenda for acceptance. Number 10, library board minutes dated January 12th and 28th, 2026. Number 11, Parks and Trails Commission minutes dated January 12th, 2026. Number 12, Planning Commission minutes dated January 13th, 2026.
I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda items 10 through 12 is read.
Okay, we have a motion second, Counselor Sundin. Council President Chilton. Counselor Hubbard. Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I as well. Consent agenda for approval, we have number 13 OLCC licenses and number 14 account payable bill list.
Motion to approve consent agenda items 13 and 14 is read.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second, Counselor Sundin. Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Counselor Hubbard. Counselor Gunderson.
Aye.
And I as well. We have no work session items, correct, today, so that is done. And that just brings us to council member reports. We get a history lesson.
Do you want?
Yes, always.
I'll think of something. A couple things since we were here last, I had the opportunity to attend the annual Lee's Banquet, always one of my favorite events to attend. Great to see all of our officers there, give out awards. My favorite are the life-saving awards, just to hear all of the amazing things these officers are doing throughout the year. All of the lives that are saved because of their efforts. And Officer of the Year is Luke Marshall this year, so very much deserving of that. It's mentioned on our agenda, Lori Baker being appointed to the Parks and Trails Commission. She was interviewed at the last Parks and Trails meeting. Excited to see her get started. She worked with the county for several decades in the parks program, so very well versed in parks maintenance and parks budgets and everything that goes along with having a park. So she's excited to get started, and it'll be great to have her experience. Also wanted to remind you of the wind phone dedication tomorrow, February 19th, Thursday from 10:30 to 11. That's going to take place at the Veterans Pavilion. So if you do plan on going, sounds like dress warm.
Mention also who actually funded
I
that.
was just gonna say, I did want to mention, because I saw a lot of chatter online, which I was a little disappointed about, because all of the correct information was right there in front of people, and still a lot of people talking negative about this and saying, how would you do this during a budget crisis? And what a stupid idea. I just think it was disappointing to me, because we should be able to have nice things in this community. We should be able to have new things. If you don't agree with it, if you don't like it, don't use it. It's as easy as that. So this was the idea of a private citizen. She wanted to do it in honor of her grandpa. It's sponsored and funded by Columbia Health Services. She obtained donations for the bench and the concrete. The Parks Maintenance Department helped install the bench, so it's as much as we were involved. But she came to the Parks and Trails Commission, had full support of the commission, and is very excited about this project. So like I said, just kind of disappointed to see people just run with again, misinformation. But if you're interested, go tomorrow to the dedication or go check it out when you can. And if you're not interested, don't go. 10:30. And then plans are continuing for the America 250 celebration. So Judy Thompson is still kind of leading that effort to get all the local service groups and artists and all kinds of people, Highway 30 cruisers, all kinds of different groups involved. And everyone's coming up with ways to celebrate the country. And so it's kind of neat to see that all coming together. I guess along with that, so one thing I mentioned in the Parks and Trails meeting this last week is over the years, St. Helens has had several opportunities when they've come together to kind of celebrate the community. So in the late 1950s, there was a national program, a community achievement program to improve your community. And a bunch of women's groups in St. Helens got together at the time to sponsor a set of projects to improve the community of St. Helens. And they actually won this national competition. So part of that effort was you had to beautify your community. You had to make certain improvements. And so two of the things they did, they built parks. And so they built Civic Pride Park at the swimming pool, which isn't one of our most widely used parks today. But they also built the 6th Street ball fields, which are still very well used today. So if you're on the highway and you look across the highway from Safeway, there's kind of an ugly old sign there that says
Yep.
St. Helens National Achievement Winner. That's what that was about. But then 50 years ago, 1976, St. Helens was celebrating the country's 200th birthday. And again, they wanted to come up with some projects to better the community. And one of those projects was development of the Columbia Botanical Gardens. So my invitation to the Parks Commission and my invitation to everybody that might be listening is to come up with a project or a way that if you're a member of a group or even as an individual, find a way that you can honor the nation this year, celebrate the community, some kind of lasting monument or legacy that can stick around here for a lot of years. But so that was my challenge to the Parks Commission to come up with something to honor the country. And so we'll see what they come up with. But yeah, that's all I got.
That's your history lesson.
That's my history lesson.
Great.
Well, speaking of legacies and doing things to make our community better, I came across the video that I was hoping to share today from OTEC that they shared on LinkedIn. So Kathy's gonna pull it up for us. It's a short video.
You know, we're having.
It's short, but I wanted to use my time right now to show this video and just give some kudos to amazing project we completed in St. Helens and how proud I am.
I think I'm gonna be able to without a problem. Yeah.
You able to pull it up?
Sorry.
Oh, darn.
Is it on YouTube?
It's on OTAC's LinkedIn page. No, they have it on a different page. I want to see it. I know, I really want to show you guys that because it's something we should be really proud of.
Do you want us to skip ahead and come back to you?
Yeah, maybe we can try to find a way to play it.
Counselor Hubbard, do you have a?
The developer on the waterfront will meet with us in March and start to finalize the agreement with them. Then move on to more design work. So there's that, and the police station is moving forward, like John said, it's June is break ground, is that right, June? Yeah, and we're gonna have the signage for the project there at some point in time, so John showed that to us.
Exciting. Gonna be a new beautiful building there, right? And when you come down Columbia Bowl, and we're gonna stop paying, just fabulous. Is this it?
Yep, we got the video.
Oh, I remember this. Yeah. Wait, were you done, Counselor Hubbard?
Done.
Okay. Sorry, we got all queued up on the video. I didn't want to take your time.
Oh, hang on.
Sound on.
I mean, the pictures are nice.
Technical difficulties,
No sound.
operator error.
This video was played at a recent award ceremony for the Construction and Engineering Project of the Year.
When I seen it, I was like, wow, we should really be sharing this. I'm just proud. And
This was on the city's page, wasn't it?
I don't think
I
it's
think
on the
what-
city's page.
This was shared on the City of St. Helens page.
I think so.
Yeah, we've shared like, I want to say like 6 months ago or whatever it was.
This video with
Yeah.
Muhammad in it, that's the first time I've seen
I
it.
feel like I saw this. It's a good one though. It's a really good video. I don't think many people have. Okay, while she's working on that.
Dang it, we thought we had it.
Counselor Gunderson, do you have anything?
I don't. I will be at the Eagle Scout ceremony tomorrow, so looking forward to that.
Is.
Up an ambulance.
Burned up an
And you
ambulance.
burned up an ambulance.
Seems like a lawsuit.
So I'll jump into mine and then we can fall back to you. Hopefully we get that video. We can just
Yeah.
end on a high note.
Yeah.
I want to start, I skipped at the last council meeting and I felt bad ever since. I did not thank Kathy and Bristol for all your efforts. that go forward to make these council meetings run. It is a lot of work. So appreciate that and the rest of the city employees as well. And I think that we all realize by now, I despise misinformation. It's one of the things that I will constantly correct. And so I'm going to point this out because that's just what I do. But the Facebook post that came up that was in question today basically said that if you live in St. Helens and oppose this 4x4 ordinance, allow off-road vehicles in our city streets, it would be a good idea to show up in either of the city council meetings tomorrow. The mayor is trying to get this done as a favor for her daughter and son-in-law. That is BS. It's not accurate. That is false information, and I will call false information every time that it comes out. That is not true. As my daughter stated, she's a citizen here. She has every right to information or to support or oppose anything that she would like. She pays taxes just like everybody else. And so those are the issues I have problems with, because that is unfounded and it's not needed. That is not needed. If you oppose an ordinance that you have, just say you oppose it and give the reasons why. Attacking, we got to get better than this. This is a problem we see in schools. This is the bullying. This is harassment that we have online. It's not needed, and neither is misinformation. Also, we do have somebody that is willing to donate signs. So Ashley, we have somebody that can manufacture them and donate them to the city. So however that works, if we should take that up, so I don't know if I need to get that person in contact with John, but
Public Works.
The person should be in contact with John.
so I will figure out how to get that person in contact with you, which is also not my in-law by any stretch of the imagination. So that's another misinformation. That would be news to me. And also I want to readdress the fees. We were going to have fees, but then looking at it, it would actually cost more administratively to actually have the fees. So it's a win for the citizens that just wanted without having the fees. So there was a rationale behind it. And if people would just ask questions, besides coming up and throwing stones, it would be easy to actually explain that. So there was a reason why we chose not to. And also registration. Vehicles have to have registrations. If somebody does something in a vehicle, they're pulled over and you have to have proof of insurance and registration. It doesn't matter if it's a motorcycle, it doesn't matter if it's side by side, a truck, a Chevy, a Buick. So that is the facts of it. And again, I don't like misinformation. I'm going to bring that up. I also want to address a really good public comment about the lagoon that came out first. And one of the things that I clarified early on in the work session was anything that was going forward, anything that's been done so far, it was validated, it's been off of grants, off of funds. So the city has not put any money out for it. And I think that there was obviously a consensus today with the council on the direction we wanted to move, but there's still money and funds available. So instead of just having them go to waste, if in fact we're going to need it potentially in the future for a lagoon that has to be like the water treatment center that has to be replaced, we might as well utilize those funds that we have available to us. That doesn't mean, because I don't want this to be a runaway train online of misinformation or people saying that they're media, that they're not putting it out there. We want to make sure that people realize that it's not coming out of the city's funds. And if we can use free grant funds, let's take it as far as we can. So I just wanted to be clear about that. And then just to get into something positive, man, it's been an awesome week in general. So on Saturday, went to the library for the Columbia County Authors Special. It's a special collection that have been put together. And there were so many people there that it was actually wrapping around the aisles in the library. It was so cool to see how many local authors that came out. I had no idea that we even had so many local authors that publish books here. And it was a really good experience. I've actually committed to write something for the 250th, see how that goes. But I did commit to that. I'm going to do that. And also there's some additional events that are coming up. So if you swing by the library, there's the Columbia County Stories by the River Festival. So it goes from February 14th to March 14th. And there's a whole bunch of different activities, but one of them I was going to bring out is Art was there, and so was ex-counselor Berkeley, and now new commission member, but he is going to be participating in the Who Done It. It's an active mystery event, like Who Done It mystery event, that's going to be happening on February 24th. In case you're interested, it sounds like it's going to be a hoot. So if you guys want to show up, it's going to be at the library. And the other thing that I wanted to point out about the library as well was, I don't know how many people realize the cultural passes that are actually available. So when somebody goes to the library card, right, they get it for free. But also when you go there, you get free admission into 10, like close to 10 locations. So for like the Japanese Gardens, the Pinnock Mansion, and the Evergreen Aerospace. So families that, maybe are looking to do something this summer, they can go get a library card for free, and then they can also go to these places and have free admission. And I don't really think that's publicized very well, but that could mean a lot to a lot of families out here for those activities with those kiddos and spring breaks and for summer. And our library's doing pretty tremendous things over there. And so there's that with the library. Check it out. There's lots of events. I'm going to be posting something on my mayor page about all the events coming up that they have. And then the last thing is, I went to the McBride today and I got to meet with 2 classrooms, the most adorable, smart kids we were talking about the If I Were Mayor contest and just some of the ideas that they come up with and their input. It's amazing. First of all, unanimously, they love our parks. The dialogue of what they love about St. Helens. Parks across the board. A little sad that we don't have an arcade here. That came up twice. Somebody may be wanting to work on a business plan in the future to get another arcade out here. Panda Express was by far that was the food that they would like to see here that we don't have in our city. So hey, yeah, if we have any entrepreneurs that would like to start up a business out here, apparently, the students in McBride that I met with want Panda Express. They also really enjoy the waterfront, the splash pad, and the park down here. Seems like the park for the waterfront was definitely hands down the best. Tomorrow, I believe that I'm at Lewis and Clark, and I believe the day after at Columbia City. So lots of stuff in the community, super amazing to sit and get to talk to those kiddos. It's awesome. And then also, I will also be at the Eagle Scouts, their ceremony tomorrow night. So we get to go and meet with them and congratulate them. So a ton of really positive, very, very cool stuff that are going on in the community right now. So if you can join some of them or participate in them, it's awesome. So anyway, that was my update for today. Are we good? And then we're gonna finish.
We can play it. Okay.
Got it.
By the way, Mohammed did text me and he said this is a new video.
Oh, it is? Okay.
It just came out a couple weeks ago, so it hasn't been shared.
Just the same aerial is the same?
Well, there's an interview with Mohammed as well
Oh,
that
okay.
is really, really good.
Supposed to be working.
Dang it.
Sometimes this happens even with PowerPoint presentations. I've seen them like it sometimes the chamber stuff issues.
That's really weird that it won't let you play it.
Dang it.
Look, there he is, Mohammed. I'm sure
Hey,
he's saying
Mohammed.
something great.
You said really good stuff,
Yeah,
right?
he really is.
Ad-lib what he's trying to say right now.
Yeah, I know.
Dang it. Okay. Can we play this one next time?
Yeah, let's try again. I really think it's worth watching.
Yeah.
And again, I feel like you said, doing something great for the community and having those things that are gonna live on past us, past our kids and our grandkids. That's what this is about. And we should be celebrating those moments. Yes.
Figured out why it's not working.
Oh, did you have
Oh,
the TV volume down?
I think that's why.
Okay, well, let's try one next time.
Third time's the charm.
Maybe, we'll see.
It's worth a try.
I really want to see it now.
Here we go.
Nope.
Dang it.
Crazy. I've we've played videos before. So.
Okay, well, next time, let's try to get it for next time and we'll finish the meeting next time with this. Okay, with that, this meeting is adjourned.